Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Cyber Reviews. Apple just made a move which I think is going to change the smartphone industry because today Apple has finally decided to release the much awaited iPhone SE2, but they are not calling it the iPhone SE2, they are just calling it the iPhone SE. And guess what? They are selling it at $399, a move which I think kills the competition, especially for Android mid-range or upper mid-range phones. Apple finally made a mid-range phone and it's amazing. There's a lot of details, so let's get right into the video.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Alright guys, welcome to another edition of Cyber Reviews, and today we are going to talk about the iPhone SE, but I'm going to call it the iPhone SE2 because in this video I'm also going to compare it to the original iPhone SE and see if it's worth the upgrade or not. And also if you're using different kinds of iPhones, for example the iPhone 7 or 8, do you need to necessarily upgrade to the iPhone SE 2020 or the iPhone SE2? Well, let's take a look. So when you go on the Apple website, the first thing that they are talking about, that they want to stress on, is the starting price of $399. Now, the reason why this is so important and so meaningful is because this phone has an A13 Bionic processor, and for those of you who don't know, an A13 Bionic processor is the same processor which is in the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and even the 11 Pro Max. So that is something worth noting. And the A13 Bionic processor is like excellent. I use the iPhone 11 Pro Max and the iPhone 11, and it's really, really fast. Apple boasts that it's the fastest processor on the planet in any smartphone currently. Well, I can't say the same, but I can at least say that it's pretty smooth, considering that even the iPhone 11 Pro Max comes with just 4 gigs of RAM, whilst we have Android devices with like 12 gigs and 16 gigs of RAM, but it's able to hold its own. So the A13 Bionic processor is a game changer to have in the iPhone SE. So for that reason alone, I think it's enough for you to make that jump from the old generation iPhone SE, or even if you're using an iPhone 7, iPhone 8, I think it's worth moving to the new iPhone SE. How about if you're using an iPhone X? Well, I use an iPhone X as well, and if you watch my videos, my iPhone X has a ghost on it. I pray the iPhone SE 2 doesn't have a ghost on it, but we'll talk more about that ghost in another video. So if you're using an iPhone X, yes, because of the A13 Bionic processor, I would recommend that you do get yourself the iPhone SE. But there are some compromises you would be making if you do get yourself the iPhone SE if you move from the iPhone X, but we will talk more about that later. So physically, the iPhone SE looks similar to the iPhone 7 and even the iPhone 8, and it has both the top and bottom bezels that we are used to. And then guess what? It has the fingerprint sensor using Touch ID. At the back, the camera bump is still the same. It has a single camera like the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 8. But this is similar to the iPhone 8 in that it has wireless charging, and it also has an IP67 rating for water and dust resistance. So it has fast charging, but the fast charging adapter doesn't come included in the box. But the inclusion of wireless charging, like what we have on the iPhone 8, is pretty dope. And on the display front, it has a 4.7-inch Retina HD display, which is similar to what you get on an iPhone 7 and what you get on an iPhone 8 as well. It's not an OLED panel. It's pretty bright. It's okay-ish, kind of. There's nothing too unique about it. And like I said, it also has Touch ID, which many people prefer to the face unlock technology which comes with the iPhone X and later models of iPhones because Touch ID is more secure and it's also faster. And of course, it comes with some camera improvements, and Apple tended to talk a lot about the camera improvements, including portrait mode, though you're using like a single camera lens. And it also has quick take video, which exists on the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max models. So let's take a closer look at what you get when you buy the iPhone SE 2 or the iPhone SE 2020 or the second generation of the iPhone SE. When you buy it, like I said, this starts at $399, and what you're getting is the A13 Bionic processor. So yeah, you're getting an A13 Bionic processor, which is really good for gaming and for general performance, day-to-day running of apps and stuff like that. It's really excellent, very fast processor. And that's I think the major reason why you should get this. And apart from that, you also get improved camera performance like portrait mode with a single lens. So if you're moving from an iPhone with a single lens like an iPhone 6, 7, 8, then this is really good for you to get. You get portrait mode both on the back camera and on the selfie camera as well. So Apple took a lot of time talking about the portrait lighting and the portrait mode that you get on the iPhone SE. If you use an iPhone X, this is not new. You have the studio light, the natural light, the contour lights, all those portrait lighting modes are still there. And from the pictures that they've shown, if it was really taken with an iPhone SE, then this is a really good camera lens improvement. And also with the video front, you get 4K 30 frames per second and even 60 frames per second video, and I think that's really cool. You get 1080p and you can shoot in 120 frames per second and even 240 frames per second. Now quick take is not new to iPhone devices if you're using an iPhone 11, 11 Pro or 11 Pro Max. So when you're taking a picture, you just hold on the button. Now it moves straight into video mode, and it's a really handy feature. Now, when it comes to the battery, it's very interesting because they are saying that you are getting, more battery life, at least like 2 hours performance. But when you go into the finer details of the comparison between the iPhone 8, iPhone 7, and then the iPhone SE second generation, when it comes to battery life, here it says it lasts about the same as the iPhone 8. And the iPhone 8 also says it lasts about the same as the iPhone 7. Now, if this is anything to go by, I use an iPhone 7 and I think the battery is terrible. For a phone which was released like 3-4 years ago, that's okay at that time. But today, phones have 5,000 milliamperes, 6,000 milliamperes of battery capacity. So going back to a 2,000 and something milliampere battery capacity, it's not good at all. So that I think is a little drawback. But let's go back into the other features that they are offering. So when you do buy your iPhone SE, you are getting iOS 13, and if you know Apple, they are going to support the phone for like the next 3 to 5 years. So it's a really good buy, especially for the price of $399. Now it comes in 3 color variants. We have the black, the white, and the product red. Very gorgeous. I would go for product red if I was to buy the iPhone SE. So still looking at the differences. True Tone, we had True Tone with the iPhone 8, we had True Tone with the iPhone X, so nothing changes. But if you're using an iPhone 7, then that's something that you are not used to. If you're using an iPhone X, you had 3D Force Touch, but here we have haptic touch similar to what we have in the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max. So that is it for the iPhone SE. Under which circumstance would you want to buy an iPhone SE? Is it like because you prefer the smaller form factor? Is it because you prefer, the dedicated home button or Touch ID? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments. And if you're new to my channel, I do mobile phone reviews, mobile app reviews, and I bring to you affordable gadgets to help you make an informed decision when you're making your next purchase. So if you like that kind of content, please click on the subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks, Bebre.